Oh, the Python 4, guys. The missile that is in the files, and don't mind my invisible aircraft over here, but the missile that is in the files, as you see, that I tested in September 2023, man. It's been a while that this missile has been added to the files, and it didn't get added. So we're gonna test it out a little bit of the performance to remind ourselves if this thing can be added right now or not. Of course, it would be included with other missiles in the game. And of course, remember that these missiles were denied by Gaijin, that they're not coming right now. But let's take a look on how they would feel like in the game a little bit. And then we're gonna go to, if it is there, to StatShark to actually see what the performance of this thing is in theory for a normal gameplay, right? So this is one of the best missiles in the game. I mean, it would be the best missile in the game if added, right? And you will see why. Let me just do this a little bit, and let's see if it actually does. Yeah, I mean, it was trying. It didn't do it, but it was trying to do it. I don't know if I can catch these mirages after this, because they are kind of way too powerful. This mission was actually, I forgot the name of the guy that made this thing, but I will try to find it and leave it in the description. But eventually, some people just updated back in the day to actually be able to test the Python missile. Because remember, this missile is not in the game. It is. I mean, look at the model. It is in the game, but it isn't like added to the live server. It is just in the files, right? And if you don't know, this is basically the evolution of the Python 3, technically. I mean, it is more than that, but it is a missile that would be the next step up for the Israelis on the terms of the next stages of missiles, right? So let's try to get a really weird shot over here to see if we can get a kill. I mean, look at that turn, man. Jesus Christ, did you see that? That's the reason why we don't see this missile in the game yet, man. This thing can do 180s like nothing. If he has the ability to get the target, it's just... oh my god. If it has the time to get to the target, right? So, look at this. These are things that, of course, other missiles can do it as well, but some of these cannot. Like, it's too much. It's kind of crazy. It will have more energy probably than any other missile. It will probably have the best IRCCM in the game. It would be just an incredibly OP missile if added alone, right? Of course, we would probably not see it being added alone, but you get the idea, right? So yeah, the Python is a crazy, crazy powerful missile. I don't know why. This is supposed to be an Su-57, but I don't know why this is bugged. And honestly, I don't know why the aircraft is not turning very well. I mean, it looks like an F-104 while turning. Oh my god. Let's kill this last target over here. I mean, look at this. And it just turns and it just goes to the target. So let's take a look if it is in the StatShark for us to actually properly take a look on the missile. So it is. So we can compare to some of the other missiles. We're going to compare to the R-73, which is one of the best missiles in terms of turning capability. We're going to compare to the A9M. And maybe, I don't know. I don't want the thing to get too cluttered. But just for you to take a look, okay? We are here in StatShark. I'll leave this in the description as well. Short range IR, of course, this changes everything over here. We can test, let me see, they updated this a little bit. Let's calculate. Yeah, the missile, yeah, they updated this is pretty interesting. Okay, target impact 7. What is the Python, right? So, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. Position plot. Okay, depending on the situation, right? So they actually updated this. So, for example, here it's basically what the missile would do, right? So you can see this is the target, the line over here, and then hit with the Python first, with the R73 later, and with the AIM-9M. So you can already see that it's a faster missile, right? It's a missile that will have more like abilities to actually you know, get a target like that. Let me see if I can do some other things. So here we can see, for example, the speed, which is a very good way of telling if a missile has enough energy, basically, to do the turns and stuff. So you can see that the burn of the Python 4 is a lot different than the other ones. And the drag actually for the target is also very, very different. So you can see that the burn of the Python 4 makes it up to be having a much faster acceleration to get to those faster speeds first. And the AIM-9M and R73s are pretty much the same. Burning the R73 burning for a little bit longer. It's not by much, but yeah, you can already see that the missile is indeed better on that regard that we already show it, right? Initial target distance, like let's do like a 5 kilometer shot. Let's do this. Yeah, see, for example, because this is the drag after they, like this drop of both, like all the 3 missiles, it's basically a drop after the burn. And you can see why the Python 4 is so amazing, right? It accelerates so fast to get to those speeds, and then it has a very good sustainer over here that maintains it having a much better, look at all this space over here. All this space in the graph is basically advantage over the 2 better missiles that we have in the game, basically, right? So you will have more energy basically in these 2 things up to like, I don't know, 11, 12 seconds. Of course, after that, the missile starts to just stall it out and stuff, but you get the idea, right? We can use, you know, kilometers per hour as well. You can see, so it is pretty interesting. The available G load, I mean, guys, the R73 is the missile that, it is one of the missiles that better turn in the game. Of course, we have the Piranha in the game that can turn 45 Gs, but I mean, you know, it's not the greatest missile ever. It's in a lower BR, doesn't have IRCCM, but the R73, I mean, 40 Gs, man. It's already pretty amazing. Way better than the AIM-9M. But look at this, Python 4, 50 Gs, the same as some of the Fox 3 missiles that we see. So it's already on another level. So we has way more energy and way more turn than something like the R73 and AIM-9M, which is, you know, complicated, right? Let me see what else we can check out over here. You can already see the drag that we have in the missile, you know, so basically here the higher it is, the worse it is. So here we can see that the AIM-9M does have less drag than all the other missiles, but still the Python 4 will have less drag than the R73. This is more due to the speed and some other situations, but regardless, it means that the Python 4 in certain situations will have more or less drag than the R73, and the way more than the AIM-9M. But if you take a look, for example, again, on the thrust that these missiles have, again, look at this. We have a more powerful engine at the beginning, and then a sustainer afterwards, meaning that it gets to those energy levels a lot quicker. Of course, in certain seconds over here, you will see that the R73 and AIM-9M, they will have more power than the Python, but it already is at those higher speeds, right? And it's just maintaining with the sustainer. So way better missile for longer ranges, way better missile for turning. Something that I cannot show to you guys here is the IRCCM. And then we go for this, you know, spreadsheet that was made by Zabi and Kopani, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check, but I will leave it in the description as well for you, the links for you to help them as well, and for the actual thing over here. Yeah, just checked. It is Kopani 99, so yeah. And something even more interesting, if you go to the IRCCM out of it, that is in the coding of the missile itself, you will notice something very interesting. that indeed it has an IRCCM, and it's nothing like we have in the game. So if you take a look, for example, R27s, for example, they do have a form of IRCCM. We have the R73s, we have some the AIM-9Ms, Magics, all of them have IRCCMs, right? But you know, notice that we have a either or a type of system. So for example, the AIM-9Ms, AIM-9LIs, and some others, they are basically using the seeker shut off system. What that means is that it will shut itself off for a while, like a very, very, very small time. I mean, look at this, 0.02 seconds, and then it will ignore the flares. So it detects a flare or something that it's, you know, along the lines of the aircraft that will make the missile confuse itself. It will turn itself off, the seeker, and it will fly by basically a type of INS, and then it will turn itself off and then on. If you notice another flare, turn itself on, off, and then on, and off, and on, until it hits the target, or basically if the target can move around in certain ways, it will make the missile miss, right? And the other type is basically the FOV, so it will have a normal FOV, and then after it gets a lock, it will make that FOV a lot smaller to decrease the chances of seeing a flare inside the FOV of the seeker, right? But the Python 4 is the only missile in the files of the game that have both. The FOV one is not the greatest thing ever. It's 1.2 degrees, which is a lot higher than, for example, the R73, which has 0.75, but it is still better than, for example, the R27. And in theory, it would turn itself off as well, right? So it would be the best IRCCM that we would see in the game, having the best long-range performance of any IR missile. I mean, of course, R27s, but I mean short-range IR missiles. And of course, the better performance than any other short-range missile in terms of turning energy. So it will literally be the best missile in the game. So of course, it's the next step up of the IR missiles. What it means is that if we are gonna get this, it's better than anything else that we have in the game, meaning that we would probably need to have everybody receiving a new missile for this thing to be added. If not, power creep would be reinstated as for these Israelis, right? So it's problematic to be added right now without a counter. But yeah, these are the reasons why you will probably not see, since Gaijin already confirmed, the Python 4 or some of these missiles being added in War Thunder for a while. We are just not ready for them yet. Honestly, in my opinion, I think we are kind of ready. For the top tier, wait a little bit more, 4+ generation for everybody, some Su-30SMs, some new AESAs and stuff. It will be fine, and then they add these missiles, but according to what they are saying, it will take more time than that. So we can only wait and see what it would be like, right? But basically this is it. These are the reasons why the Python 4 is still, after 1.5 years basically, not possible to be added right now. It is still too good. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Python 4 and all the other missiles that we will probably see it when this thing comes. See you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye. See you.